millibars from the previous advisory. So that's why we saw that uptick in the winds. The flooding is also something that we have to be watching out for. A lot of people will be traveling and trying to evacuate today into tomorrow. And there's your flood threat. Even West Palm Beach seeing over 2 inches of rain just yesterday, and you're on the other side of Florida. So again, we're going to continue to see the showers, the storms moving onshore. You can see the southern part of the peninsula getting the heaviest rain through tonight. And even tomorrow, it's still all about southern Florida. This is not Melton yet, but eventually as Melton approaches the coastline, we increase the tropical moisture from south to north, and then we bring in the heaviest rain with Melton sometime late Wednesday night into early Friday. As mentioned, we already have surpluses along sections of this coastline here. Tampa, not just the heavy rain flooding with 12 to 18 inches, the storm surge flooding is something we'll be watching out for. That's the Euro. The American model wants to get heavier rain to the north, where there's still a lot of people without power from Helene, even up toward the Big Bend area in northern Florida. We could see several inches of rain out of this. So this is the European model coming ashore late Wednesday night. The European model, again, has it going a little bit either into Tampa Bay or just south of Tampa Bay. The American model wants to drive it north of that location, which would mean bigger storm surge potential for Tampa Bay.
Who can solve this? Fine. Jake from State Farm.
Okay. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
What will you do when power goes out? Power outages can be unpredictable and inconvenient, but with a Generac home standby generator, you
Really, hotline calls for
this hurricane season.
You don't want to be on the interstate with heavy tropical downpours.
America's most trusted music is being received first with nearby wind coverage. So being ahead of the storm, this is a dangerous hurricane. Receive instant information from our team of meteorologists and landfall cams that bring you County. This hurricane season, protecting America only on the Weather Channel.
Hurricane Melton will have devastating impacts on Florida. State emergency management officials are urging Florida to finalize storm preparations and evacuate. The agency says this could be, quote, the largest evacuation that we have seen, most likely since 2017 during Hurricane Irma. Meteorologist Jim Cantori is live in Tampa, and joining us is Dr. Michael Brennan, director of the National Hurricane Center. Dr. Brennan, thanks for being with us this morning. I think we're trying to emphasize again with this one that it's not just where the cone is. We see significant impacts well outside the cone as well.
Yeah, I actually just took the cone off what I'm showing you this morning here. I'm just showing the hurricane watches and peak that include everywhere from down from Chokoloskee all the way through Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Sarasota, Tampa, up to Cedar Key, up to Suwannee River, and then we've got the storm surge, watch that covers pretty much that same area, actually even a little bigger. So those hazards are going to extend well outside of the cone and well away from the center of the track of Melton, especially the surge because it's so vulnerable here. And we're looking at the potential for 8 to 12 feet of inundation above ground level, including the Tampa Bay region. So again, folks have been asked to evacuate. You really want to start putting those plans into motion now.
Yeah, and the other thing, Doc, is you're talking about areas like Pinellas County, maybe even parts of Hillsborough County that are saying we're shutting down everything, plumbing, infrastructure to save it from a worst case scenario, which would be a storm to our north. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. If you have a track that comes in just to the north of the Tampa Bay region, you get those strongest winds funneling that water up the bay. That's really the worst case scenario that can play out there. And that is certainly a scenario that's in the realm of possibility here. We're not going to be able to narrow that down until we get to within just a few hours of landfall to find those exact locations that are going to be the worst surge. But those are the kind of preparations that people need to take starting today.
What kind of warning and advice do you want to give to people that live inland, say in the Orlando area along the I-4 corridor, even the east coast of Florida? I remember Charlie, landfalls at Cat 4, it was a Cat 1 on me in Daytona Beach. We can still see a lot of effects from this.
Yeah, I expect to see the hurricane watches right now going to places like Lakeland and interior portions of Florida. I expect to see those extend eastward to the east coast through the I-4 corridor later today. And then there's also the potential for the flooding rainfall. If you look at the excessive rainfall outlook, we're really highlighting that area from the I-4 corridor northward up towards Jacksonville, even southeast Georgia. That's where we're most likely to see those heaviest rainfall totals. So that combination of the heavy rainfall, flooding, winds, significant impacts, widespread power outages, and flooding is one of those deadly hazards, as we've seen play out many, many times, that can affect areas not just at the coast, but inland and on both coasts of Florida for this particular event.
Dr. Brennan, I wanted to ask you, whether this gets to a high-yield Cat 4 or even a Cat 5, which it certainly could do before it starts to wind down, what percentage of the maximum strength surge is actually coming to the coast? Are you going to have a Cat 4 or 5 surge that comes to the coast, or is it going to be watered down even a little bit?
Yeah. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tie the surge numbers to exact categories because, Jim, as you know, the storm's going to grow in size as those peak winds come down a little bit and it starts to transition from a hurricane more towards an extratropical type transition. You're going to see that wind field expand, which can more than make up for the fact that the peak winds come down a little bit. And that's also going to lead to the potential for life-threatening surge over on the East Coast as well that we'll have to start highlighting later today.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because people might not be aware. As a storm basically buzzsaws through the state fairly quickly, when it gets on the east side, you get that flow coming back on shore. How much of a surge do people say around the Space Coast and north of there need to worry?
Yeah, it's certainly in play. We're going to have more solid numbers on that starting later today. I wouldn't be surprised to see storm surge watches issued for portions of this area. But certainly several feet of inundation are going to be possible, especially if we get those short parallel winds that can again drive that water onshore. So everywhere from, say, the Jacksonville area down towards Cape Canaveral, very vulnerable to storm surge on the East Coast there as well.
Dr. Michael Brennan, Director of the National Hurricane Center, thanks for taking the time with us this morning. And certainly, Steph, as you know, and Dr. Brennan, what could be a multitude of scenarios shaping up. But we've got a storm that is intensifying still. It has a 6-mile wide eye, a pinhole eye, and it is coming toward the Florida coastline. Every possible preparation that you could make to protect life and property you have to do. And even with that done and that said, all right, the piles of debris from Helene behind me could either be floating around or blown around, depending on the track of this hurricane. We'll be right back.
You never want to lose
A Category 4 storm this morning. It has essentially gone through a double rapid intensification cycle. 35 miles an hour in 24 hours. It's almost done 70 in 24 hours. Incredible. All right, we're not done. One of the huge problems we're having, of course, is the debris from Helene. Remember, we had record storm surge here in the Tampa Bay area, and it's not just this out. But look at it. You've got plywood, you've got, fascia boards, cabinetry, chairs, you name it. All this stuff with the direct landfall is either going to float if it goes to our north because we'll double the surge, or it is going to be windblown because we could easily get 100-mile-an-hour winds. It's not just one pile. There's piles here. There's piles downstream. We're on the Davis Islands, by the way, this morning, where folks dealt with storm surge up to their front doors, and in some cases, as we saw with Chris and Shannon's house right inside. So let's talk about this. Again, 945 millibars and falling. We've gone through an incredible rapid intensification in the last 24 hours here. 125-mile high-end Cat 3 on the verge of a 4. You can see where the hurricane watches are. And this will be interesting to watch over the next couple of days. Because, or actually today, I think, even by tonight, you're going to see those tropical storm watches and maybe even the hurricane watches come all the way across the state. So this is going to impact you. And because of what's going on here and what happened with Helene, so many of you are going to have to evacuate even further than you normally would have. Rooms are hard to come by, all right? And usually it's just get out of the surge, but in this case, there may not be a way to get out of the surge. It's friends and family that you can stay with. So please plan ahead. Don't wait till last minute or you're going to regret it. We're going to run out of gas too. That's going to be another issue. Storm surge watches, Cedar Key, all the way down into the Upper Keys, where we're talking about these will go into effect obviously well before the storm. These will be all going tomorrow, as will the hurricanes. And look at this intensification, 60 to 125 in 24 hours. That's almost a double rapid intensification cycle. And usually the biggest and the worst ones do that kind of thing. They can go through double. We've had that happen before. We haven't even seen the center of the storm go over the warmest of the water. The shear is going to stay light for a while, probably for the next day and a half. And then we're going to jolt it up with what we call the loop current, which is an area of deep, warm water that comes up from the Caribbean, wraps up into the Central Gulf, and then heads out through the Gulf Stream. By Wednesday morning, here we go. If anything has changed this morning, if you're just joining us, is the landfall is expected to be later Thursday, potentially sunset or thereafter. And so instead of having a daytime situation, now you have something that's going to come in at night. So Kelly, it's watch the model runs. Is the storm going to go north or south of Tampa? That will make a huge difference here, obviously. But either way, with a storm of this magnitude and one that will weaken even a little, we got some big problems on our hands over the next 60 to 72 hours.
Yeah, according to that forecast Tony you just showed, it's going to be close to a Cat 5 by tomorrow morning with winds of 155 miles an hour. We are rooting for that shear, Jim, obviously across the Gulf of Mexico, right near Florida, as the system comes into Florida, but unfortunately it doesn't weaken enough. It is still going to be a major impact. And then even after that, crossing over the entire peninsula, so you've got not just western Florida, central Florida, but even the other side. So we've got crews all over the Sunshine State. You can see that we do have the strongest shear right here over northern Florida. Where it is right now, it's over plenty of warm water and less shear. So that's why it is forecasting still to be rapidly intensifying as it comes north of Cancun as a high-end Category 4, possibly even a Category 5 hurricane making its first pass to the Yucatan Peninsula. Today, tomorrow, it's another area of low pressure. That's why we're seeing the unsettled weather today. Showers and thunderstorms. Then we bring in Melton. This is the European model, coming just south of Tampa or directly in to Tampa Bay. Now, the last time we had a hurricane hit either in or very close to Tampa was back in 1921. So this is going to be rather unprecedented for so many of us. You've got major flooding, not just from the rainfall, but across the rivers and the surge flooding. The stronger the winds with this storm, the higher the water comes up at the coastline. So that is why some of those evacuation orders are going into effect for the barrier islands. Schools are closed all the way through at least Thursday. And this is a look at the American model, bringing that storm a little bit north of Tampa, where we could see a big storm surge for you with that onshore push of water. So here's a look at the approximate position of where we have Melton by Thursday morning, 5 a.m. So again, don't pay too much attention to the center of the storm. There will be impacts north and south, and even all the way to the east coast of Florida.